my name is Stephen Marx. I'm the founder and CEO of Marx Biotechnology, where we're developing a technology that will allow doctors to make quick, accurate, and efficient decisions on how best to manage and treat their patients. This is a platform technology. It is a big data platform for early blood diagnostics, patient monitoring, and personalized medicine. The technology is centered around the GSK3 beta molecule and its known established functions in the human body. These functions are what allow your body to function normally, and when they're not functioning properly, that's when numerous different disease conditions can occur. Our first application is we're developing a diagnostic kit of blood test for the early diagnosis of graft versus host disease, GVHD, which is the leading cause of death in bone marrow transplants. It's where the bone marrow, the transplant, recognizes the patient's body as foreign, mounts an immune response trying to destroy the patient's body from the inside out. It's an effective killer. 50% of patients who get a bone marrow transplant will develop this disorder, and out of that, 50% will die. That's 1 in every 4 patients. Now, I personally know 4 people that have had a bone marrow transplant. Out of that, 3 of them have died, 2 here in my community in Israel. Now, the problem for doctors is that there's no way for them to identify a patient developing this disorder until they develop observable symptoms, which only occurs at the very end of the disorder, when most treatments are no longer effective. Now, the figure here represents the progression of the disease. You have 3 molecular phases, molecular phase 1, 2, and 3. Midway through the 3rd molecular phase, at the very end, is where you get observable symptoms. And if they can't diagnose it through a clinical diagnosis, they have to take a biopsy, which is painful, time-consuming, 24 to 48 hours, and it's not so reliable. With our technology, we can diagnose it early on in molecular phase 2, prior to the body being attacked, prior to the patient developing symptoms. And the way we do this is that we're monitoring the functions on the molecular level that have to change for the disease to occur. Now, it's a blood test, so it's minimally invasive. And instead of having to wait days to know your patient's condition, you'll know in 2 hours. So this will forever change the way doctors manage and treat their patients. Now, we wanted a technology that everybody could utilize today, so we chose a protein chip, which is an established technology that everybody already knows how to use. Manufacturing techniques are known, and the readers can be found in most hospitals today. What's unique about the protein chip is our unique set of biomarkers for monitoring the onset and progression of acute GVHD, and our understanding of the GSK3 beta molecule and its known and established functions in the human body. Now, this is what our product will look like when it's ready for market. Everything in it simple, easy, and ready to use. This is how the kit will work in the field. A patient comes into the doctor's office and blood is taken using standard techniques. The blood is then processed using standard techniques, and the sample is then incubated on a protein chip for 30 minutes to an hour. It's then placed in the protein chip reader. Now, we are developing software to make the output more user-friendly. It will say, yes, you have it. No, you don't. If it's a confounded condition, which one? All the treatment options at the doctor's fingertips. All he or she has to do is sign off on it. The doctor will know his or her patient's condition in 2 hours. This is the business model. The insurance providers will cover the cost of our diagnostic technology. The market is a $650 million market. Now, these numbers are only based on the US and EU. However, this is a global market with more than 700 bone marrow transplant facilities located globally. Okay, it costs us to make the kit $30 to $50 per kit. We charge the distributor $600 per kit, giving us a revenue of $550 per kit. We're recommending 28 kits per patient. We estimate in our first year that we can service 500 patients, which is only 2 to 7 transplants, bone marrow transplant facilities. That would be a net revenue of about $7.8 million. In years 3 and 4, we estimate that we can service 3,000 patients, which would be a net revenue of $47 million. There are many other applications for the technology. Any event or disorder that's associated with 1 or more of the known established functions of the GSK3 beta in the human body, there's a diagnostic, monitoring, and personalized medicine application for the technology. These are just a few examples of the other applications. We have a great team and an experienced international advisory board. Today, we have completed animal trials. The data is published in the Journal of Transplantation Proceedings. We also have human T-cell data and mass spectrometry data. We have 2 international patents. The first one, which covers our kit, has been issued in Israel and Europe and is still pending in the US. The second one, which covers the core technology, It has been issued in Israel, still pending in the US, and we have a third patent that is pending in Israel. Recently, the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, we were awarded Horizon 2020 grant from the European Union. We're an alumnus of the Mass Challenge Accelerator Program. We were the third place winner in the anti-cancer professional divisions in the Shenzhen Entrepreneurship Competition in China in 2018. And presently in 2020, we're a participant in the BizLabs Accelerator Program. We are seeking a $2 million investment for clinical trials and for MVP development and testing, bringing Marx Biotechnology to the next fundable milestone. Once clinical trials start, we'll have a product ready for the European market within 12 to 18 months. This is just a timeline on how the funding will go and the progress of our kit. Within the first 12 to 18 months, we should have a kit that's ready for the European market. Then in the next 12 to 18 months, we'll hit the US market. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.